Good morning, everyone, or whatever time you're joining me. This is your reading. Well, I'm switching things up a little bit. So this is for Tuesday, April 8th. But while things are so intense, or for the future, for the unforeseeable future, I'm going to change this up a little bit to be daily political tarot and astrology. I've been doing, just the political astrology, but I think we need the tarot as well. And I think that there are so many of you guys who are already so good at reading your own cards for yourself. And if you aren't, there are so many other readers who are doing, personal daily. So you'll learn either way. And if I can go back and forth between the two on the personal and political, I will. But I think if I set the intention for it to be political, that is actually what is going to happen. Because that's the way it works, energy wraps around our intentions. But I will still bring through spiritual laws when I can. I will still bring through, anything that may help us. Always is the way I'm focused. And we'll see how this goes. And also, I have lessons. I have 148 or 50 videos in there at the lessons level, and it's tarot, Lenormand, Kipper, and astrology, and then some extras for healing the soul. That's in there too. So, okay, I think I've shuffled enough. Oh, goodness. So I'm using the Radiant Rider-Waite. We have the Five of Pentacles. The theme for the day is the Ten of Wands. And whoa, Nelly, we've got the Nine of Swords in the evening. So politically, what's going on is overwhelming for Americans and for other people in other countries. They're wondering, how do I get this? How do I follow through with all the passion that I need and get this, whatever it is, get these projects. These 10 of Wands could be 10 different parts of our lives. And we're trying to bring things home. We're trying to finish. We're trying to, get that burden across the line. This is a card of hard work and stress. It's also a card of achievement. And the Nine of Swords, so this would be the government, okay? This would be the stress upon the GOP. But what are they going to achieve? With the Nine of Swords, it's going to cause nightmares. It's going to bring through issues that they really didn't want to deal with. They will have some regrets, but the universe will help them get into alignment. And it is especially in relationship with financial loss. So this has everything to do with the tariffs. This also is the threat to people's health. This is the threat to Medicaid, Medicare. Medicare is a part of Social Security. I mean, if they could take it all out, they would, but they can't because people will, there's already so much revolt. And hands out, thumbs up, hands up, heart. My heart goes out to everyone who participated in the rallies. Even Lori was able to go in Florida. So there were 1,400 hands-off rallies with millions of brave souls all over the USA on April 5th. And those protests, that information is still coming out, and it will continue. And Felon 45 and Flee on Musk, especially in regards to Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid and the billionaire takeover with the attacks on the people, that's what everybody was protesting about. So now, on the personal level, it's possible that some people are feeling kind of beat up from all that work. And Monday, Tuesday, yesterday and today, it hasn't been so easy on their sweet little bodies. And And so if we were to look at it on this level with the Nine of Swords, I would say, just hang in there. Be very careful about being depressed. This would be the market depression, though. This would be the fear of recession. So no matter what, I'm always going to say things that will try and protect you guys. If you can stock up as much as you possibly can, that will quell the nightmarish kind of, dreams that may come through. So don't despair. Just keep, do the best you can. Get a little bit of groceries, extra groceries whenever you go. Shop for sales and bring as much home as you can, and that will quell the Nine of Swords. So, okay, here we have the astrology for today. If I get that centered there. Actually, let me bring this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I have it set for 5 a.m., 0 degrees Aries, ascendant, because I don't know where you live. You can see that we still have this whole Pisces pileup, giving an aspect of opportunity. With Uranus, it could bring through financial changes, and things will shift over time, because we're hearkening back to the past where, we know how to get, cut the wheat from the chaff, the chaff or shaft or whatever. We know how to discern. We know how to track patterns. We've been through these things in this lifetime before and in other lifetimes. So we know how to activate this mystic rectangle here and bring in the power that we have for ourselves. And of course, notice how Mars is already in orb of that opposition. We had the moon opposing Pluto. So remember, oppositions will lead to breakthroughs. And the moon initiated Mars coming through. Now, today, the moon is at 29 degrees of Leo early in the morning. Within a couple hours, it'll be into Virgo. And of course, as the moon gets up to the south node over the next 2.5 days, we will be connecting a lot with the past, but also the courage, the intense courage that we have now is making a difference. It's making a big difference because, again, the moon initiated Mars that will soon be into Leo on April 18th, and that's coming right up in, 10 days. And Mars opposing Pluto, Mars in Leo, no less, is like a formidable, like it's something that is strong because it's action with strength. And now people are really pushing forward for security and safety for their families. And look at all of these trines coming up to just look at this. 25 degrees of Saturn and Venus and Saturn, of course, is the tariff trade wars. But it's also us opening up to bigger values. Our value system is ruled by Venus. We're making comparison values. The government is, whether or not they're acting as if they are listening and they are watching. And there aren't that many GOP members that are crossing the aisle with the Democrats to try and stop Trump, but there's 6 or 7. I think we only need 3 or 4. I think we need 6 or 7 to get past that 60% or 60% of the votes on the floor. And little Mikey Johnson is still trying to keep all that down, but there is that possibility that he'll wind up with a vote of no confidence and get his little elf self out of, put him on another shelf. with his face in the doo-doo. How about that? So this aspect here it's an aspect of the architect. This is there's a lot of strong flow with a lot of energy with the weight of water. It's like, let's take well, shoot, you know what? On another level, then this is nothing to laugh at. This is scary. These could be terrible rainstorms and floods that bear down upon homes and families. I don't like seeing this. Be very careful. And please put your prayers out there for everyone else. I have dear friends who are in those, in that area, those states, and peacefulness. We need a peaceful flow. If only that rain could be caught somehow and used, put to the desert or put to wherever, because we are losing groundwater all the time. Earth has shifted on its axis because so much groundwater has been lost. Because we've pumped it out because, that's how we live. Groundwater wells, pumping groundwater, sorry. Yeah, ground wells. Let's just shorten it. So there's that aspect of the architect, going back to the facts, going back to conservation. Virgo is all about ecology and conservation of the earth. And we're headed it that way. We have to take things into our own hands best we can because, nobody paid any attention to Al Gore in 2006 and 2007, and not very many people even watched his movie, The Inconvenient Truth, or An Inconvenient Truth. And here we are. Government, they're victimizing us. Trump and his drill baby drill. Well, I think he's had a drill in his head too many times, or something's going on there because he ain't thinking right. And we also have the aspect of the architect over here with Uranus at the, hinge point, handle of the bucket. I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Victoria Cleary for that one. She emailed me and said, hey, I'm seeing this. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So the bucket handle here is the change agent. It's on the change agent. It's on somebody being liberated. Well, some people are being liberated from their money, where Trump thinks it's his liberation tour, whatever. Yeah. Don't trust a person's judgment when they have Alzheimer's. You just don't. So all of that will be coming out. The moon will reveal the lunacy. The Leo moon is on Trump's past his ascendant and right into his first house today. And there will be adjustments to the path in life, his path in life, as he's trying to victimize everyone else because he's friggin' nuts, knuckin' futs, right? And then here we have Neptune and Aries. We have our peaceful spiritual warriors moving forward. We also have more people getting out from underneath the delusion and the gullibility to be deceived by him. Now that Neptune is out of Pisces, at least for a while, it will go back into Pisces. Oh goodness, July? No, I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong notes over here. October 22nd, 2025. And then it'll go direct December 10th, 2025. Neptune will not be in Aries to stay for, 14 years until January 6th, 2026. So for now, it's like messing around back and forth a little bit. But, new people are waking up. This Chiron and Eris in Aries, plus the sun working its way to Chiron, that is very helpful, ushering in a new way to look at things independently. Think for yourself, because they're not telling you anything on Fox News or if you're listening to Trump, you're just being lied to because he's knucking futs. And then this double square with Mars puts you at a choice point where what do you do to keep yourself and your family safe? Right? What can you do? Because we can't trust the government now. We can trust Adam Schiff and Jamie Raskin and Cory Booker and Jerry Nadler and so many other ones. And I'm so sorry for any that I'm not mentioning. Doesn't mean they're not important. It just means that my pea brain can only hold so many details at once. But the deal is the Senate and House, both branches of Congress are held by Republicans, and little elf on the shelf Mikey is blocking everything. So we'll see how that goes for him as time goes by. And shout out to my dear friend Lori at the Way of Positive Change for coming and being on with me last Thursday. Between her fire. Her fire and water and her stellium in Virgo, she's just so brilliant in bringing the facts in. And I think I spent more time laughing and needing to be more serious, but boy, we had some really good readings. And little Mikey is, according to her, he's not going to do well. He's going to fall off his shelf. So yeah. Now, this aspect here is, like I said, here, let me do this. Let me get to the tight orb. Oh, it's not. Okay, so it's off already. Yeah. It's a waning aspect. So the disruption, it's still there. It's just not in as tight of an orb because, when you bring it down to tight, we're talking like tight, like 0 to less than 3. But I'm glad I did that, though, because it brings through the Ceres square to Jupiter. Now, Ceres, remember, for us, and in Pisces, it has us thinking more broadly and in bigger capacities. It has everything to do with what we need to do to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Fur babies, everything. We're talking food, we're talking farming, we're talking all the transitions that women go through. It's also, it's the thing all of the things that we really need to focus on in order to survive. Otherwise, it's connected to grief and separation. And with the square to Jupiter, Jupiter's trying to help us broaden our minds. Jupiter's a ruler of Pisces, as well as Neptune. And we're talking the ability to open your mind and learn new things so that you can protect yourself. Otherwise, there's grief and separation that can happen. So again, back to our independent nature to take care of ourselves. And being intuitive and being with Mars and Cancer, being intuitive and sensitive and psychic enough to know which way to go. Okay, we've got fire here, fire and water here. The natural squares, you can see if you zone out from this and just come to the corners here. I'm sorry, the 4 hot points here. There's not any corners in a round chart, but but Aries squares Cancer, Cancer squares Libra, Libra squares Capricorn, Aries squares Capricorn, Aries squares Capricorn and Cancer, right? Cancer squares Aries and Libra, Libra squares Cancer and Capricorn. Aries, 0 degrees Aries point brings in spring. 0 degrees Cancer brings in summer. We've got fall over here with Libra, fall, autumn, and then winter with Capricorn. So there's power, and it's all movement oriented. The cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, are cardinal. Cardinal means movement. It's just like all the knights in the tarot. They're all movement oriented. So it's fire and then the element. So that's enough teaching for that little purpose there. But what's really tight today, notice, is Mars to Saturn and Mercury. So now Venus is still right there. So I'm going to bring it all together here with the most important piece being Mercury to Mars. So people are communicating outwardly in a big way with Pisces, and they're talking about, are we being victimized by the government financially? And obviously, yes, Trump is victimizing people. He's the terroristic tyrant, and people are scared, at least the ones who are waking up. If they don't wake up, there's nothing we can do. But I can tell you guys, please be careful. Please save your money, save your stock up, do everything you can to get through. Start thinking about the possibility of a recession. Okay, even though the stock market doesn't control, the economy, but when companies stop because of the tariffs, when companies stop. Well, there's been layoffs already. There have been layoffs, massive layoffs already. So, you don't need me to tell you that. And Mercury here opposing the South Node. I mean, there are actually two lines here because the North Node always opposes the South, but we're headed in a direction where we need to think and do our sales and transactions, which is all under, Mercury's sales, transactions, and also voting choices. It has to do with how we negotiate, and then we analyze Mercury. We analyze and rationalize our thought process based on the patterns that we find. That's a Mercury phenomena, as well as Virgo, because Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Yeah. So, and there's so much more I could talk about. I need to do some separate videos that just devoted to astrology, because we do have Pluto hooking up with the South Node of our July 4th, 1776 Sibley chart in March of 2027. So things can radically change at that point, or you can see where the change is headed. We need to get rid of the abusive victimization in our government. So, yeah. And I'll talk more about, this trine is going to happen as Uranus moves forward. It's going to trine when it gets, even in the late degrees of Taurus, but especially when it gets to the early degrees of Gemini, it will be trining Pluto. So there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes for people in power, and I hope that it is the power of the people, the law of brotherhood and sisterhood coming together with Pluto in Aquarius, us networking together to bring through the change. But for now, we've got to hunker down and get into self-preservation mode. That would be the enlightenment that Uranus has been bringing for the last 7 years, 6 some years. It'll be 7 by the time we make it to the, to Uranus in Gemini, which July, it's July 7th, 2025. So it's coming up. And then there'll be retrogradations and all of that, but it's okay. Yeah, so now, between now and the summertime, is very powerful. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks, you guys. Big hugs. Bye.